that I looked at. Do you know there was a big fire in Johannesburg, right? And I thought about Johannesburg because
what's the word? Johannesburg.
Because we had we went to South Africa.
Yeah, we were in Johannesburg.
And it was nice to kind of go to Johannesburg and all the other places.
They gave us the be careful messages.
Going downtown.
Because we were from out of the country.
And going downtown.
So being careful when we're downtown.
Yeah.
Just if we go somewhere we don't where, just be cautious of our, kind of like in any other area.
Yeah.
That may knock you in the head and take your purse or something.
So, very sad. You know what's going on there?
It's a building that was caught on fire, right?
Ma, do you know what's going on in Johannesburg?
That fire.
Yeah, 75 people died.
75 people so far. And over 50 something injured.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah.
The what?
We'll go through it, Lenore. There was a building fire in Johannesburg that leaves 73 dead and many of them homeless, authorities say. As many as 200 people have been living in the building, witnesses said, including in the basement, which should have been used as a parking garage. A nighttime fire ripped through a rundown 5-story building in Johannesburg that was occupied by homeless people and squatters. They said also migrants. People who migrated there from other...
You understand that?
Yep, other countries in Africa. Wow. It said leaving at least 73 people dead early Thursday. Emergency services in South Africa's biggest city. Some of the people living in a maze of shacks at other makeshift structures inside this building threw themselves out of windows to escape the fire and might have died then, some of them said. Local government officials said. A witness said he saw people throwing babies out of the window, out of the building, in an attempt to save them. Mm-hmm. At least one man died when he jumped from a window on the 3rd floor and hit the concrete sidewalk, head first. As many as 200 people may have been living in the building, witnesses said, including the basement. 7 of the victims were children. The youngest, a 1-year-old, according to an emergency service spokesperson. Officials said 141 families were affected by the tragedy, but could not say exactly how many people were in the building because there was homeless people and everybody in there. Don't we see this kind of happening here? Mm-hmm. And it's sad that it has to be something like this before people start saying, oh, we have a migrant situation going on in this country. Mm-hmm. It has to take something like this. It's sad, but it has to.
I was going to put a T-shirt together to say, what would it take?
It's going to take something similar.
What will it take?
Yeah. Emergency crews expected to find more victims as they work their way through the building. Now, first of all, like my mom was saying on the outside, the building was being rented out by a bunch of gang members. They would, like you were saying, how the cartel use the migrants that come here.
Yeah.
They use the migrants that come there.
It's like
charge them to stay in this building.
It's like wrong taken from wrong. Yeah. So what can you do as
and
officers?
You're a migrant. So who you gonna call? Nobody.
Oh.
So they take these migrants that come over, and then other people that's homeless
they take advantage of
and they take advantage of them, and they charge them rent, and they take this building out. First of all, who owns the building?
She said the gangsters.
No, somebody has to own that building. Whoever owns that building, the businessman or the business that owns that building.
Unless you think it's a building like we have here where it's no one there and they just
somebody still
start living in it.
Somebody owns the building though. Even though it's ransacked and nobody's taking care of it. Who is the property owner of that building?
Unless the property owner is part of these gangsters.
Well, we'll find out.
That's what I heard.
Okay, so my mom is saying she heard the property owner is part of the gangsters. Whether it's the property owner who is part of the gangsters or it's just a regular businessman, I'm suing you because you need to know what's going on with your property. We talk about abandoned buildings all over this country and landlords not knowing what's going on with their buildings.
But you know what the sad thing about this, and probably even in our country, slum lords,
Yes.
like this person, whoever this person is, or this group,
Yes.
they take advantage of the poor.
Right.
They know no one's going to come at them and sue them.
Exactly.
So they don't have money. They don't have legal, opportunities to get legal help.
Yeah.
So they will take advantage of it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Not put fire alarms in, right?
Yeah.
The windows the ledges will be broken. And you'll hear about it in the news that one mother's child fell out.
Yes. So I feel like the first person I would go after is who owns that building.
Owns the building.
Also, they were saying it's hard to find out who the drug. No, it's not. The gangbangers. You know who the gangbangers are in your city. Mm-hmm. The cops know. Don't act like y'all don't know. You know who they are. You know what they doing. You know you look the other way.
Yeah.
You know you can't
you look the other way or you get paid to look.
You cannot have hundreds of people living in a building,
yes,
and you the police department and you don't know about it.
They don't care.
That's the point. You don't care.
They don't care.
So the government needs to crack down on whoever this police department is and find out how they're being paid off, who the gang members are. Mm-hmm. They said that, first of all, the firemen said when they got there, they couldn't even figure out how to get in and out. And they're firemen. The building was like a maze, they said. And there were doors, the fire door exits was chained up. And they found dozens of people at the doors trying to get out. At all of the exit doors.
So many fire hazards, so many code violations.
Didn't happen at night. Mm-hmm. So they said you couldn't see. They believe it was a candle that started it. So if people was living in shacks inside of there, they probably used the candles for light and cooking and heating, we have a prepping channel. Preppers are not keen on candles. We use them. They're part of our prepping. They're not a big part of our prepping.
Resort, huh?
They're not a big part of our prepping because animals can knock candles over. Kids can knock candles over. You can knock a candle over in the middle of the night. You can drop your candle. Anything can happen with a candle. Yeah. We're not candle people who prep. We have candles and we understand the importance of them, but we are more flashlight people, solar flashlight that you can put in the window and it can recharge itself. Try to stay away from candles if possible. If you're not going to be there to, this is probably somebody who went to sleep with a candle on at 1:30 in the morning.
Out or something. They're still trying to figure out how the fire started?
They're still trying to figure out. They believe it was a candle, but they're not sure. But the fact that they had doors chained and people couldn't get out, and the fire department said it was a maze. They had trouble. This is the other part they said. They had trouble when they got in the building. They couldn't hardly get people out of the building to save them because it was so hard to get through the maze. People was dying as the firemen were trying to escort them out of the building because it was a maze. Can you imagine being a firefighter and you escort hundreds or whatever, dozens of people with you,
firefighters,
and then you get to a door and you can't get out of it? So now you got to turn everybody around on a building that's on fire.
They're giving their lives to try to help people get out of this building. The sad thing, though, I was looking at the heading of the title. The sad thing is, I think a lot of people and I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of times we get numb and we don't have
family member or somebody attached to it.
We don't care kind of thing, because the moment you put homeless,
right,
gang migrants, those are three categories where people go, the building finally burned down.
I agree.
I'm tired of that building because there's always homeless people there, migrants always there, and you're like, really?
Even if you don't care at the fact that they're South African and they're African people.
No, I'm saying those three groups everywhere.
I'm talking to people.
Okay.
Even if you don't care that they're migrants or homeless people or whatever, I'm saying, and I'm not going to prophesy, because people try to prophesy and they be prophesying talking about God told them something. God didn't tell you nothing. I'm just looking at plain common sense. this is coming to America. We have hundreds and thousands of migrants
And homeless
people
and
who
gangsters
are on the street, and gangsters, gangbangers, and cartel that's going in and out of the country, like you said, going through. What did you say they was going through the farms?
I was watching today on the news, and news is very important. So I know a lot of us don't like to watch it, but you do get informed.
We watch it and we'll tell y'all about it.
And even as people of God, as far as praying, you got to be informed because you got to know what to pray for as well. Right. And pray that they get help, pray that they get money. They were showing the Mexican borderline in Arizona. There's a Indian, what do you call their reservation that stretches past those two countries, or the city, and then two countries. They have cartel, and they have other people bringing illegally the drug. What's the drug that they've been talking about?
Oh, fentanyl.
Fentanyl. That's a big drug coming in. So they have very few officers that sit and wait and know. They know that they've been there, they've been through. They'll use the people on the reservation to bring them through to the lines to go across in the country. In the meantime, you got the people bringing in the drugs. You got the cartels ripping them off, taking their stuff and taking the immigrants that they're bringing into the country and using them for their own good. Right. So you got the bad stealing from the bad. And I was telling my sister, we see all the money going to Ukraine. We see all the money going to elsewhere, our weaponry and all of that. One thing they do need to invest in is having more people at that border. Yeah. Like the gentleman said, he said, we need help.
Right. Not what DeSantis says, with people firing and shooting people as they come
over, we're going to shoot. He even said that yesterday.
He's so stupid.
You loot, we shoot.
He's a dummy.
I said, you're just not going to shoot people because they loot.
He's just saying it. You can always see things foreshadowing. And I see this as a foreshadow in the United States. Yeah. Because you have all these people who don't have a place to sleep. Mm-hmm. And also two people that the more poor people get, the more people who take advantage of the poor is going to happen.
And the more desperate
they're going to get. So they're going to start clunking you over your head.
You just going to Walmart.
Right. Well, I used to go to Walmart and nobody bothered me.
That man took my groceries.
Thank you.
Because that man is hungry.
Thank you. And you just lollygagging out, talking with your friends outside, talking about the weather.
Shoot, this basket's hard to push.
Somebody going to clunk you right over your head and take your groceries.
Oh my God.
So let's see it foreshadowing and try to fix it.
It takes this situation, unfortunately, to happen to wake up.
I look at all the buildings, even when I'm driving around, even in Chicago and stuff, abandoned buildings.
Yes.
It's a building here that's a hotel. I told you I saw the windows open. I guarantee you there's homeless people sleeping in that building.
Yes.
And it's all cardboard up. Mm-hmm. What is it? Boarded up.
Wood boards and stuff.
If a fire breaks out in there, I don't know how many people is in that building.
And will it have to take that?
And if I see it, don't the police see it?
And the mayor?
Remember, I was driving down the street. We was driving.
Yeah.
And it was a man who set up his tent.
Oh, yeah.
On the main street.
It was a homeless guy.
With business people.
Normally, this homeless guy, we've seen him in the neighborhood. He would be in a certain other area of the neighborhood. But this time, he was in between our Dunkin' Donuts and another neighborhood.
And he set up a tent. So we drove by the first time. I said, okay, well, all right.
And found him a new spot.
Even though I don't like that. I was like, all right, whatever. Came back a few days later. It was more tents and it turned into a tent town.
He said, no. Not on our watch.
And I was like, I called out everybody. The aldermen, the mayor.
Posted on social media.
The police department. Pictures. If I see it, don't you see it?
And you know the aldermen in that area got on it.
Yeah.
Got on it.
We found them a place to live. They don't have to stay here no more. We were on it. No, you wasn't.
It took us to blast them on social media. Come on, aldermen, city officials, mayors, like you're saying. A lot of times I'm wondering, are they getting paid?
I think they just don't want
to not be
all these people on the street that's asking for money at the the light
with
at
the
the
little signs and
stoplight.
stuff. Yeah.
I see it. Don't the police see it?
They even have a sign that says no soliciting and not to give money to the people that panhandle. And the lady still sits there with her chair.
So no, if you got a chair and an umbrella and a table and a radio,
did you see that one brother that's over?
You're not even trying to run when the cops come.
I kid you not. It's one brother that's over there at one of the main malls. He got a community. And you know how you had a little median in the middle before cars going in and cars going out at a light? He's right in the middle. And I'm sitting there just watching. Oh my goodness. Why won't city officials, police officers move him?
Find him a place.
Find him a place if you can. But a lot of times they do try to find him and they don't stay.
Well,
they want to be on the street so they can get money for their whatever they're doing.
Just like, and I hate to say this. What I'm saying. I hate to say it, but just like I spray in the morning all the time, when the mosquitoes try to set up a nest, now I don't see it anymore.
Or a bird or a bee.
I don't see it anymore. You know why? Because it's a hostile environment. Nobody sets up a house in a hostile environment.
That's true.
You think, you know what? I'm going to go somewhere else.
Constantly being bothered. Move, sir. Move. In. Okay, I'm not coming to this spot no more.
Thank you.
That's the point.
Thank you. And it's not only that. It's not because you just annoyed, which that's part of it. And I know some of y'all politically correct and don't want to say that.
What?
You're annoyed with people coming up, jumping on your car, trying to clean your windshields and stuff.
Oh, God.
But it's also for their safety. Yeah. So stuff like this doesn't happen. You gotta make sure that homeless people aren't just anywhere.
Yeah.
And
they can get hurt, injured as well.
It's for their safety too. It's not just for us to be like, leave me alone. It's for your safety.
Yeah. This is sad though. This whole Johannesburg situation.
Yep.
Wow.
All right, let's say hi to everybody. Cotilia says, hi ladies. Hi mama.
Hey everybody.
Emerald says, hey ladies. So sweet. Or is that Cheryl? She clapping her hands. Patricia says hi. Hey Patricia, we haven't seen you in a while. Mm-hmm. Kiki says hello, sisters. Hey Kiki, everybody. We always love when you come in.
I'm supposed to say a happier hello everyone because yesterday
she was horrible. Kiki says people are trying to seek refuge. We can't treat them like animals. Exactly.
I know.
And Soul Sweet says, I watched the replay of your show. Finally caught you live. All right.
You know what I would say? People treat their animals better, and they do.
People treat their animals better.
But it was on the news yesterday in one of the areas that's not far from us. This man, this is an animal rights person, been complaining about this rodeo area where they have the horses and they have the cows or whatever that they're chasing, and they'll lasso them. They were mistreating them. They would beat them on the head. They saw one guy with a tractor taking a dead one and just taking it in the.
They be mistreating all them circus animals and stuff.
It's not a circus animal.
No, I mean they treat them too.
This is a rodeo. This is their. I wouldn't say rodeo, but they do. It's a private farm where they do their own little. You know how people have their own little private little dog fights and stuff. This is like that, but it was a farm and it was in the area. This man used his drone to fly over, and he even said to the news people, he said, they see my drone looking at them.
They don't care.
They don't care. So now he put a spotlight on him. It was on the news yesterday. The investigators are coming now.
Yeah.
And they would take the animals, the horses that they would hit. He was hitting the horse in the head. And I don't know. I'm not used to horses or whatever. I would probably be afraid of a horse, but the fact that you don't want to see any abuse to anybody, any animal or any person.
Even the ones we eat. Yeah. I think if we don't see it.
I know.
That's what I was telling you.
Animal rights people are really big.
But that's what I was telling you with PETA. Like, when you go too far, people don't care about what you're saying.
Yeah,
you can get us on regular stuff.
Right.
Start showing us how chickens is you know what I'm saying?
Cows are being
and cows. Then maybe we'll be like, you know what, maybe we'll start thinking of, I didn't know that. But don't throw blood on people's fur coats. And that's what I was saying.
Now you got us to fighting.
That's what I was saying with the transgender thing. It's like you want people to be sympathetic. Don't go overboard.
Support
don't
your
go
cause.
overboard.
Your cause is great, but you're going to
don't go overboard.
The extreme and everything.
Bring people on common ground with you, and then they'll listen to you. Mm-hmm. But when you start going extreme, people be like, I'm tuning you out all the way.
Yeah.
But so let's pray for the people of Johannesburg.
This particular,
a lot of kids died. A lot of adults.
The fact that the man jumped out the window,
people were jumping out the window.
That he died hitting his head to the concrete. The thought of not wanting to be burned.
The fact that people was burned at a door that wouldn't open.
They couldn't even get out. That's sad.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Speaking of, I guess you can't say speaking of burn, but
is this another?
Yes, I say Count Dracula. Don't some burn him.
Why you keep
don't the cross burns him? I was gonna say, speaking of burning, don't the cross burn Count Dracula?
They played his tape again today. Talking about